welcome to the next channel. So after I posted my last video, it's a riddle for viewers. I got a lot of comments. Some are confused. They just saw the previous mail and thought they are supposed to reply to that. Then I told this is the code to which they are supposed to reply, and I got a various interesting analysis. So some I got in the form of comments, some I got in the form of email and also WhatsApp messages. So the quote is all about time is the enemy of the privileged few versus cost is the enemy of the masses. So it's quite interesting in this judgment or analysis. Some caught my attention. They compared even this quote with the current scenario like COVID and how America is handling and stuff like that. So I thought let me come up with the answer because this quote have come from a specific source. I'm not much aware. It is somewhere I was watching a TV series or somewhere and in the conclusion or somewhere I see they mention this aspect. So it's not either a quote, it's just a phrase used in that TV series or somewhere. I vaguely remember that, but it goes like this. Okay, so if you decode, you have two things you need to be clear when you consider who are the masses and who are the privileged few. Okay, so if you see cost is the enemy of the masses. So the masses actually includes the poor and also the middle class, and also that should include also lower middle class, and also upper middle class, and a certain extent it should also even include even the rich as well, because of the mindset of all this class of people is about chasing products or any resources. See, some are thinking it is about consumerism and all. It is not. It can be any product. Okay, so it can be any useful product. It can be even an essential. It can be just buying vegetables, meat, rice, wheat, whatever it is. So it's about any product. So when they buy any product, they go for a discounted price. So the cost is the enemy for these masses. So majority of the people, cost is the enemy. So they see it is the cost is their limiting factor. So they need to buy something. Let's take for instance, they need to buy this watch. They see that which model they can afford, and something like a Casio G-Shock or something. It can be around $200 or versus any different model. So they see which they can afford. So it's about their budget, need, and their desire and stuff like that. So it's just cost is the enemy for the masses. My reason for buying this, I just need a vintage digital watch. So I don't want it to be charged every week like our smartwatches we get it these days. So my ultimate choice is this. Plus this has some world time, since I have some clients nearby Middle East or European region, and some are in US region, some are in this side of that world like New Zealand, Australia, or any of these parts. So I use this to approximately know what could be the local time zone. Plus it's a vintage watch, so I get a lot of nostalgia whenever I wear this. Plus the reason of buying a digital watch is it is quite accurate. When you see the time, you don't see the time like an analog watch. Analog watch kind of vaguely represents what is the future, what is the past going to be by seeing the needles, versus here a digital watch is since it is not shown in analog representation, it just crisply shows currently what the time is. So it symbolically represents precision, okay. And I don't want to buy an expensive one because I just don't have a need, and again they don't have that nostalgic factor, any recent G-Shock. So this is what it is. So for me, if you consider this quote, cost is not a big factor because it is not an expensive one, so it is affordable, so it's fine, okay. In case if you want to buy some other watch, maybe sometimes you are going for some GPS and some features, then cost is the enemy. So generally cost is the enemy for the masses. So they value their belief system, their value system, whatever it is, the cost is a major factor. So based on that, how they earn, how they negotiate for a salary and everything, it depends. How their lifestyle is, everything depends. So they all seek getting good products and good comforts and luxuries in their life, but what it restricts them is the cost, okay. So let's decode who are those privileged few. So, privileged few are those select few high net individuals. When we say that we should think, let it be Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos or some who is not so popular, but still they come under the category of privileged few. So the privileged few, they have everything they can afford. The affordability is not an issue. For them, the major important aspect in their life is the time, availability of the time. So what happens is, essentially they know the value of time. For them, the most valuable thing in the world is time, because time is something which is limited, and once you lose that opportunity, you can't get it back. So for them, the most important aspect is the time, not affordability and otherwise. So people like us, we can criticize, okay, he's anyway rich, for him it's not an issue, so he can afford anything, versus I'm poor, so I can't afford things like that. So this is again the mistake in our mindsets, because what is happening is, we are not taking time as an important parameter. Instead, we are chasing behind some goods. Some are maybe essential, some are maybe not essential, and we are focused in terms of buying cheap products, and we are only valuing the affordability aspect of the products. It's just not because we are poor, it is because we are giving more emphasis on the cost and affordability rather than the time itself. So if you emphasize the time, then it changes your way of living. So that's why this quote makes the significance. So when I reply to my so and so people, everybody interprets in a different way. If I send this to a CEO, he knows, he may interpret in a different way. If I send this to a student or somebody who is a working professional, he interprets in a different way. Okay, so let's take another example. See, currently we have this COVID situation. People are getting laid off, they are getting fired. I even read the news that someone getting a call around mail around middle of the night, around 3 a.m. or something, and HR is telling them that you are supposed to either put your papers, you need to resign, or they are going to terminate you. Okay, so this is what is the situation happening. So many complain that how the companies can do that. We ourselves are in a difficult situation, and they could have notified us a month before or something like that, and how they can do that and things like that. But unfortunately, this is again the working class mindset. See, anytime you get a job, you are always accepting all the terms. You go and read your appointment letters. In the appointment letters, company have clearly stated that anytime we can terminate you, and if you are a permanent employee, then they will give that severance pay or whatever. And then, they can give an advance pay of a couple of months or whatever, based on, again, whatever they mentioned in the appointment letter, and they will, do that layoff, procedure. So this is what it is. So if you see that way, the company is not doing anything against you, because that's what is the contract says. and there is no point you thinking that, oh, this company have done that, and see, tomorrow you join in some other company, this story is going to repeat if they are going to do any sort of mass layoffs for whatever reasons, let it be cost cutting, or if the company itself is bankrupt, then how can they can pay you people? Okay, so this is what, so this is again shows the employee mindset. The employee mindset is always, they complain a lot, they are not independent. First thing is, they are not independent, they complain a lot. Next, they say that my salary is inadequate, I'm supposed to get some promotion, I'm not getting it, I'm supposed to get some salary hike, which I'm not getting it, my manager, I have an issue, or some reason like that, and I'm not getting any commute, transportation facilities is not available, in the office something is not there, and they are not giving me some adequate allowance. There is no end to this list. See, they always dependent on someone, they always complain. Even when they are facing a situation like COVID, they always going to complain. Okay, and I have also seen some weird people saying that they have taken loans, they don't know how to pay this bills, they don't know how to pay these loans, so they have taken recently some loan, let it be credit card, let it be car loan or home loan or whatever. So this is what is the reasons. Again, they say, if I lose the job, I don't know how I will pay these loans and stuff, and they tell that they could have given, the companies could have given a prior notification or something. See, even if the company has given you some notification some couple of months back, even then it is not sufficient so that you can pay all these loans, or even you search a job in that short period of time. So this is how all the private companies work. So there is no point you are going and demanding something which is not going to happen. So this is, again, it is a reflection of the people's mindset, and who is asking you to take so much loans when you don't know, when you yourself is not capable of paying it. See, there's a difference between a rich person taking a loan versus a middle class or a working class taking a loan. See, rich people or high net individuals, they may take a loan for other reasons. They may they don't want to disturb the other part resources, let it be liquid cash or other assets. They don't want to dilute that asset to buy some new asset, so they buy this new asset through a fresh loan, and the banks will also give them a lot of rebate. Unlike you middle class people, see, bank will give a lot of rebate for high net individuals because they take a huge amount of loan. At the same time, they are very low risk individuals, so the banks don't hesitate giving them loans. Versus you and me, if I go and knock the door and they will ask you pay slips and past bank records and stuff. Versus somebody like a high net individuals, bank know what they are, and they will have their relationship with the bank. They know what is the average balance they maintain in the bank. So based on that, even if they give this new loan, it is not any it's not any risk, plus it's a good business opportunity for the bank also to earn money. So this way it is completely different. Versus here you are taking the loan which is you are not sometimes capable of paying it, and you are actually taking a huge risk, because when you work mostly all the tech industry is are private companies. So what happens is, anytime you work in a private company, there is no assurance. Anytime the company can face issues, let it be small startup or a huge company. If there is any crisis, they may terminate the employees. They do that to cut down the costs, and also they do that for their own survival, because if they don't terminate you, they can't feed and sustain the business, and they can't feed the other employees also. So it's an unfortunate thing, but this is what it happens. So this working class or the middle class, majority of the middle class community may also say or expect that government may step in. Let it be a government of any country. I'm not saying just one country. Let it be government of any country. Government can step in. They can provide some support and stuff. See, it's again the mindset, making you to think somebody have to solve your problems rather than you work for your own problems and find a solution for your problem. Let's assume government have solved your problem as of now. What about something happens in the future? Let's suppose tomorrow you got married and you have some marital issues. Who is going to come and solve your personal problems? Okay, and things like that. Tomorrow you have kids, you have teenage kids, you have some issues with the teenage kids, and again you expect somebody have to come and solve your problems. See, I'm saying, this is the mindset, will keep you poor, will keep you middle class, will keep, make you to think always in a sort of mediocre way, not, seeing the big picture, and not to, find yourself, in a different thought process where you can be more independent rather than you are getting always this support and expecting the support and depending on, others. So the major takeaway is, you need to be responsible for your life. You need to stop complaining others. Instead, you need to focus on your life. You need to focus on your time, and even if you are employed and you are getting good pay and a secure job, still consider that anything can go wrong, and who told you to take risky loans and get into trouble? It's like that. So we just don't know. Crisis come in any way, like we had in the past 9/11, and then we had that other recession during 2008, banking crisis because of that, and now because of COVID or whatever. Who is telling you to take a lot of risk? So you are responsible for your own life. So this is what the masses should take away, not valuing the cost or affordability, and if you are not able to afford, then take a huge loan and then trying to pay back. It's not that. The time is the most important thing. How you plan your time and how you manage your time is the most important thing, and you need to be independent rather than all the time complaining others, saying that because of something I'm unable to do that and stuff. So this is what it is. So this is what distinguishes many entrepreneurs versus any of these working, job going people. I do, of course, sometimes discuss with my students. I do have even some of my students who no longer talk about tech in their sessions. They just, we just have only sessions on somewhat topics like this. Okay, so these things are quite common. So if you think an entrepreneur, he is very much independent. It's not about he earns more. Some entrepreneurs I have seen, actually they earn a lot less than salaried working class people. So it's not about earnings. It is all about the freedom, versus a working class people. It is all about depending on others and then still cribbing that something they are not getting what they actually deserve. So it's just the mindset. The more you depend, the more you feel you are inadequate, you are not getting certain resources, and anytime you want to buy some resources, you feel, the cost is your enemy because it's not coming at a cheaper rate, versus entrepreneur or any high net individual, they value only the time. The time is the most important resource. It just shifts your focus altogether. Once you see the time is a limited resource, the time is the most important thing in the life. It's not the cost or affordability of product. It comes next. It's not the most important. The time is the most important aspect in your life.